So after more than a year, the boy is back. And what better way than with my thoughts and impressions on Mortal Kombat 11. It's been almost 2 months, we've had our first major with Combo Breaker, CEO is currently going on, and the first DLC character was recently released. I wish I could say this game is amazing and perfect and all that, because I am a Mortal Kombat fan after all. But there are too many little things holding back an otherwise amazing game. I'm gonna get to some of those gripes first. Grinding in this game is not fun. I get making something hard to earn, but most of the challenges are repetitive and unenjoyable. A good example is the character towers. All of them are practically the same, the only thing you change is the character you play as. They all have the same challenges, and they all give the same rewards just specific to that character. Now I do like the character towers, but it does feel very repetitive after you do a couple of them, and I've done like around maybe 6 or 7. Currency was another thing that was a big problem in this game, but after the currency patch, earning coins, hearts, and soul fragments actually became feasible, but not anymore enjoyable. Luckily, we can set an AI fighter, like in Injustice, to earn the stuff for us. Luckily, Noob is amazing at being a worker bot, but if you need anybody else for the job, there is a godlike Reddit post that I'll link down below that gives you the ideal AI settings to farm all the gear you need with any character or variation. All the info on how the AI system works, how do you set it up, and just any other details like that are all down there, and it's really good. Some work better than others, but it is a good place to start. After working your 9 to 5 at the Towers of Time, you can head on down to the crypt. This is easily the best crypt experience until you realize that you're going to have to clock in more hours at Towers HQ with your coworker Noob. Some of the hardest things to get aren't due to insurmountable challenge, it's because you have to play through the mobile game style unlock system this game was built upon. The challenge tower in MK9 was difficult and had unique challenges that were a good mix of fun and frustrating. It even had little mini games and NPCs unused in other parts of the game. The problem with that mode was that the reward was really underwhelming. Sorry Molina players, but that costume's not great. The reward in this game is a lot better though. A lot of the brutalities, intros, and victory poses are fantastic. Several characters even get old fatalities for brutalities in this game. Liu Kang not only gets his shitty Mortal Kombat 1 cartwheel uppercut as an awesome brutality in this game, but he also gets the even dumber arcade machine drop from MK3. There's been a lot of love put into this game and its history. The entire crypt is just a huge tribute to iconic locations from Shang Tsung's island like Goro's Lair, the Armory, and the Deadwoods. Now I'm playing it on PS4 and I haven't run into any terrible glitches with the crypt, but other people have on all platforms. And the Switch version of the crypt looks kind of god awful. There's not really much I can say, like my crypt experience hasn't been that bad, but be wary that it isn't perfect. Now I haven't said much about the story, and that's because I haven't beaten it yet. It's polished in a lot of ways, but it seems like the weakest NRS story to date, which is unfortunate. The actual gameplay though, it's pretty great. The netcode has been kind of on and off for me. I've had a lot of great matches, but I have had some spotty connections for sure. But all of the system changes are excellent. The gameplay overhaul given to MKX near the end of its life cycle was clearly a testbed for Mortal Kombat 11. The way get-up attacks work is great, giving an adequate amount of risk-reward. Having separate meters for defensive and offensive actions works well, and it works almost like a MOBA-esque cooldown system. Crushing blows are satisfying to pull off, and can lead to another layer of mind games. Am I trying to go for one of my character's crushing blows, or am I going to bait you into doing something? For example, Aaron Black has the infamous overhead dropkick. Now the crushing blow requirement for this move is to do it twice in a row. If you know that, you may anticipate that he's going to do it twice in a row. But instead, he can go for the slide, which is a low. So if you're trying to block the overhead, you'll instead eat the low, and that will be free damage. So there is an element of mind games that come with a lot of crushing blows. Oh, is he trying to go for the counter hit crushing blow? So I'm not going to press any buttons, but instead they dash up and throw you. There's a lot of things like that that you have to consider now with this new system, and I think it's great. It feels like you get rewarded for smart play a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of it. There are some brain dead things in this game. There are some things that are a little bit too good and should be toned down. There are some pokes that are kind of abusable and kind of like really good because they have good range and they're not really punishable, and they can be a little hard to deal with. And some characters like Garrus were made accessible and easy to use, but that in turn made him really strong in the hands of anybody who's really good at this game. I do appreciate the much more grounded nature of the game, and I think it's a great direction for the series. The game also remains really accessible while having a bit of depth. The tutorial is fantastic, and it sits up there with Skullgirls, Guilty Gear, and Uniest when it comes to teaching the player how to get good. The roster isn't amazing, but I do enjoy some of the picks here. The Collector and Garrus are great new additions design-wise, while I'm less keen on Cetrion, but I do enjoy her effects work. It is quite a pleasure to look at. I've mainly been playing Katana and Garrus for those times when I just feel like doing some bullshit. In short, MK11 is a high tier game that is so close to being godlike. I still really enjoy actually playing it against human opponents, and Shang Tsung has been a lot of fun to play. I just wish the grind was a little different and more fun, which makes it a hard recommend to anybody who is like a pure casual player. Anybody who's actually trying to get decent at the game or is already intermediate, they will get a lot more out of this game. I feel it kind of lacks on the casual front, and if you are a purely casual player, a beginner player, and just somebody who's looking for a game to play with your friends and stuff like that, I would honestly wait until it's on sale. It is still a very good game, but I would wait until there's either a sale or all of the season pass characters come out. If those leaks do turn out to be true, man, those are some good characters that are going to round out this roster, and I think that's going to be a treat for people to pick up and play. As far as the grind goes though, if there wasn't an AI fighter option, I would have given up on unlocking anything dope like many people I know have. It's unfortunate, but past those single player issues, it's a fantastic fighting game that is an easy recommend if you're at all interested in fighting other people and getting better. I'm going to make a guide soon with some tips that you can use to get better at the game, because I think there is a really fun competitive side to this after all the casual flair of fatalities and fancy outros. That's it for my thoughts on NetherRealm's latest release, so if you feel like hitting buttons, how about the like and subscribe ones? Thanks, and remember to stay godlike.